He's the receiver of the LoBalbo Award, and there's no one in college basketball and no one closer to Fairleigh Dickinson basketball that deserves it more than Jimmy, his wife, Natalie, his daughter, Lucia, and especially his late son, Braden. I now give you the recipient, Jimmy Carr, of the LoBalbo Award.
I want to thank Coach Aranda. That was a great introduction, very undeserving, but I'm going to talk about a couple things tonight. I'm going to try not to cry, but if you look at the picture, you know why. And the second thing is I'm going to try to be a little uplifting. It's a hard thing, but hopefully I do this. This is a great honor for myself and my family and our foundation. When Sean Morrison called me and told me about the award, you know, I knew the past recipients, Mr. Rafferty and Coach Greenberg and Hubie Brown and Coach Carr II, and I'm not worthy to be in that stratosphere. So, but Braden is, and that's why I'm here tonight to accept it in his name. I actually met Coach LoBalbo when I was in 10th grader at Freeland High School in Freeland, Pennsylvania. He spoke at Wilkes University basketball camp, which I was attending, and as Greg said, it was an unwelcome sight. When you're at camp, you want an NBA guy to come in and dunk and get some autographs, and we had an older gentleman come who worked us very hard for 2 hours and taught us about defense and had us sliding and sweating all over the floor. But the passion that your husband had as a coach was absolutely amazing. And like I said, when Sean came, the irony and the full circle of life really hit me. I'm an old soul in coaching. I appreciate coaches. I don't know if anyone, I think the coaches in the room caught during the soccer team presentation, Coach Rowland, if I get 1/4 of that kind of appreciation that you get from your guys, I'll be really happy, because that was tremendous. For a guy to say his best 4 years were his college years playing for you, and for 12 or 15 guys to nod in silent support, that's tremendous. So I think, Coach, you deserve a great round of applause tonight. I was actually a fan of Coach Lowe's, big St. John's fan growing up. Coach Carr II's team captivated the area, and I grew to appreciate when I was an assistant coach here at Fairleigh, reading about Coach Lowe and his contributions to our game, to Fairleigh Dickinson, and just basketball nationally and really internationally by his gift of teaching it. He's a man's man, a good coach, and what he preached was tough defense, holding your own, and trusting others that they're going to be in their spots and they're going to be able to help you. And that's what me and my wife are trying to do right now. I'll tell you about my wife and myself and our foundation and what we do. I'm going to steal a great quote. Robin Roberts from ESPN and Good Morning America on ABC. Been through a couple bouts with cancer recently. Her mother, before she passed, said to her, never be shy about talking what you're going through. Make your mess your message. So we make our mess our message. We're blessed with Braden for 2.5 years. As you can see, he's got his father's movie star good looks and eyes. He had great hair. That picture cuts it out, but the kid had amazing hair. Google him. I don't mind. Go ahead, Google him. He's an unbelievable, beautiful little boy. And when you lose a child, you join the worst club in the world. Two things about this. There's no word for it. When you lose your wife, you're a widow, widower, it's such a horrible thing, there's not even a word for it. And we take strength in that. The old expression, you're only as happy as your sickest child. Well, there's a lot of days where we're very, it hits home with us about that. Grief is a horrible, horrible emotion. It paralyzes people. What we've done with our foundation is twofold, so we're doing a little bit of this more now, and I don't mind saying this in this kind of setting. If you know someone who lost a child, if you know someone who's going through what we went through, reach out to our foundation. It's Carr at BradenCarrFoundation.org. I give my cell phone number. I'll talk to them anytime, day or night, because that's what people did for us, and we like to give back. That's one part of what we do with our foundation on a very humanitarian thing. I really wish I didn't write my notes on the Marriott stationery that I got out front with red ink, because some of this stuff's actually really good. Now let me catch up here. Talk about the movie star good looks, talk about hair. All right. Again, accepting an award in your son's name for us is something very special, but to accept it with the name on it of LoBalbo is something very, very special to us. You know, and Miss Lowe, again, meeting your husband when I was very young and watching his career and learning things that he taught was special. But basketball teaches you to help. You help out your teammates, and that's just what we're trying to do with our foundation. My son suffered from seizures. He didn't die from seizures or any medical condition. He died from medical error, but he suffered from seizures. And what we've done is we help children directly who suffer from seizures and their parents. Lessons that we've learned from dealing with having a sick child and losing him, there's three things we always talk about. First and foremost, that time is your most precious commodity. It used to be money, it used to be all those things, but in the end, all you want is more time. To fight life's battles, you have to have the enthusiasm of a child. My son was 2.5. He went through things that nobody should go through. Never had a bad day. He didn't, in sports, and Coach could talk about this, he never didn't show up. He was there every day fighting because he didn't know any better. He was 2. And if I could give you one thing in life, when you leave today, half of it's showing up, they always say. But a little 2-year-old boy didn't learn to not show up. And I think if we go back to having the enthusiasm of children, we'll be able to accomplish a lot more things. The last thing is actions speak so much more than words. As you can tell, great-looking kid. When he was 6 months old, the problem with seizures, and seizures is something, especially with young children, it's a horribly underfunded and under-researched thing. It's sort of a catch-all thing. Oh, he has seizures, he'll outgrow it. If not, it's something you'll live with the rest of your life. Problem is, when you're battling seizures, the drugs are so powerful. Bray got sick. We took him to the hospital. He had a fever. It was right on his first birthday. A doctor gave him a drug to stop his seizure. The only problem is that one of the drug's side effects was it affects word formation. Now, if I would give that drug to any of us as an adult, we would stumble over our words, which hopefully I'm not doing. But if I did give that drug to you, you wouldn't be able to finish sentences. You'd be struggling for words. When you're only a year, you just stop talking. So that little boy never said a word. You know, I shouldn't say that. He was able to mouth a few things, but he didn't speak up into his potential. Also, during his final 100 days, again, a medical error took his sight. So those beautiful eyes weren't able to express things. But I think you could see he does express a lot of things. His actions, and my wife's actions, and mine, hopefully express a million things. All right, now moving on. Go ahead, Google him for a second so I can get my composure. Again, our foundation, we help children with seizures. We help their families directly. We just had a great event. We do a coach's clinic every year. We've done it now 3 years. We've raised $300,000 in 3 short years for children with seizures. This year we were fortunate enough to do it at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I was there the day before setting up and the day of an event. Can't tell you how excited I am about Fairleigh Dickinson athletics right now and basketball. In the athletic department side, no one knew who I was. I was setting up tables, doing things myself. We're a two-man operation, and I just noticed the people go about their business during the day. Jason Lewis, who's the facilities director there, young, great energy. Sean Morrison, Rita Andreezes, am I pronouncing her married name correctly? What I noticed was the amount of young student athletes that went up to these three people and had interaction with them and helped them got through their day. And there's no better testament to an athletic department than when the students need to see their administrators and deal with their administrators on a daily basis to get through the day. So could I get Sean a round of applause today, and Jason and Rita? Happy to say for the women's basketball program at 7 a.m., Coach Sanella and his staff was doing individual workouts, and later in the day they were coming back to lift. Pete's doing a tremendous job, and just a word about Greg. I've watched Greg's career since he was Holy Cross, before Seton Hall days. What Greg's doing is very hard. He's going to need a little patience, but what he's doing is he's building a team of purpose. No, in college basketball, what Greg inherited wasn't very good, and already the transformation he's made in a very small time in not just building a team, but building a purpose. The kids have pride now. They shake your hands, they look at you, they doing well in school, they work very hard. They're going to be a team you could root for. And basketball is always a big sport at Fairleigh Dickinson. It can't be in better hands right now. So could I get Coach a round of applause? A little bit about what we do at our foundation so you could understand this. Seizures, it's simple. When it's a little kid and they have seizures, it's a terrorist attacking an innocent. You don't know when it's coming, you don't know how hard it's going to hit, but it hits repeatedly. What we want to do is raise money and give it directly to that family for their humanitarian needs. Some of the things we've done in a very short time is we sponsor a pharmacy which makes special compounded drugs for them. We sponsor a lot of therapies, including horseback therapies and swimming therapies for little kids. We pay a college scholarship for one little boy, one male and one female student. We've renovated a house. A family contacted us from Massachusetts and said, we have to move. We're moving. We give out a lot of money. We try to give out up to $25,000 to families that need them, but we give out a minimum of $5,000. What we did is we were able to get in touch with them and renovate their house that they could do the therapies for their daughter right there in their house without having to move homes. We're very proud of that. And we recently just purchased a specialized van for a family who's having trouble getting their child around. So we don't do doctors, we don't do research, we give money right to people so you can see tangible results. Again, we have a great website and foundation. After you give your money to Fairleigh Dickinson this year, please look it up, BradenCarrFoundation.org. And we're nonprofit, 100%. It's a volunteer staff, me and my wife, and my 3-month-old daughter, Lucia, who is a little bit, we put her on the board of directors, but I'm not too happy with her someday, so I'm not sure if she's going to stay there. Raising girls is different, I'm telling you, it ain't easy. We do this for selfish reasons. This got us through 2 years where we didn't know where our breath was coming from. But, it's been a great thing. And to be honored tonight by a place that I know and I love, around people that I have a great respect for, really means a lot to me. Mrs. Lowe, how ironic. 16 years old, I meet your husband. 30 years later, I'm actually 45, but 30 makes the speech go better. 29 slows it down. All right? Our 2 losses, your husband, my son, comes together, and it's going to help a kid. Because somebody's going to try to help us tonight. So your husband, 2 little angels in heaven right now. And you know what? I'm going to tell him to go to camp this summer so he can meet your husband. All right? But we're going to help a kid somehow. And that's what your husband was all about. Attack the problem because you got people behind you helping them. So we're really honored tonight to have something with your husband's name on. All right? Thank you very much.